Well, welcome everybody to the Connected podcast, where we talk to entrepreneurs and sales professionals who know a little bit about networking, and we learn a little bit about how they have become successful in their industry. And today I'm joined by a realtor, Kendria Clark, who's joining us today. How are you doing today?
I'm well. Thank you so very much for having me.
Oh, that's so awesome. So let's go ahead and get into it. So how long have you been into the real estate game?
So February of this year will mark my 10-year anniversary in real estate.
Oh,
Yep,
10 years?
10 years.
Oh my God, that is that's almost a record from people I talk to. I think many agents kind of get started. I think the average is, I think 85 read somewhere 85% of real estate agents drop out in the first year.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. What's
yeah.
been the key? What's been the key to your longevity?
Well, I must say my determination and focus on succeeding and helping others. That's really been the reason that I thrive in this industry is because I really focus on serving other people who need help and who also want to attain the American dream of home ownership and wealth. And so I really focus on teaching them that wealth starts with attaining real estate because every wealthy person that you know, it may not be their primary industry, but there's some ties to real estate that added to their portfolio of wealth to get them to where they are. And so I focus on making sure other customers and other clients who are maybe not the 1% or 5%ers know how to do the same thing.
Oh, that is awesome. I mean, that is a worthy mission, if I've ever heard one, helping people become wealthy. People always want it, and they look at Instagram all day and they see the people who have done it, but many people feel uncertain about how they can do it. So that's really a blessing to have someone like you to help hold someone's hand and show them how to improve their fortune.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Cool. So, so how did you get into real estate? That's interesting.
So, as a kid growing up, I'm from Savannah, Georgia.
Okay.
And as a kid growing up, my mom and I used to love going to open houses, right? So on Sundays, and we would go and check out homes, and I just fell in love with just every aesthetic about home. And so when I became an adult, at one point in time, I did mortgage origination training.
Mhm.
And so I learned the business from the other side first, originally. And I, for me, it was a moment where I saw that I was a part of helping someone else attain their dreams. And that did it for me. And if I've always felt like I had a servant's heart, and I was like, this is how I can serve people. This is my purpose. And so it aligned with my love for houses as well as my passion to serve others. And so I became licensed. I'm also a certified project manager by trade, but my passion and my focus and commitment is in real estate. So I became licensed in 2012. And that's
Okay.
how I got started.
Wow. Okay. So let me ask you this question. What do you wish someone had have told you when you first started? 2012, summer of 2012, and you're getting your license. What do you wish somebody had have told you before you actually put on that name tag?
I so this is the thing that I struggled with in the very beginning, and really probably up until like the last 2 years of my business. Um, I just wish someone would have shown me the way a little bit,
Mm,
not asking them for any, unique tips or tricks that they use that are special to their business, but really just not have been afraid to show me the way and understand that anything that I accumulate on this journey doesn't take away from what you get. And so I wish someone would have also just said, hey, it's going to be some tough times. I wish someone could have predicted the future and say, hey, we're going to have a little turnover here and it's not going to be so pretty. But, those things happen. Real estate is cyclical. You can't control that. But
yeah.
I don't have any regrets in terms of, I wish I would have did X, Y, or Z. I just wish the doors would have been more welcoming and open amongst other agents.
Got
So
it.
I really focus on when I encounter a new agent, I open the doors to them. If they want to have conversations, I don't really focus on mentorships, but if they want to have conversations and want to learn certain strategies and certain things that you do to attain business and grow your business, I do that because I know whatever I give that agent doesn't take away from me.
Oh, I love that. That is, I tell you what, that's abundance thinking, and
Yeah,
everybody, and I've talked about that a lot in some of my coaching programs about the difference between abundance and scarcity, right? And if you go
yes,
into the life thinking that there's not enough, there won't be enough, right? And
right.
so if you go into life thinking that there's plenty of houses, there's plenty of money, there's plenty of customers, that there'll always be more. So
Yeah, I don't know if you ever pay attention, if you're driving down Peachtree
mhm.
Road, and it's around the 1800 block of
Okay.
Peachtree Street. And there's a sign that runs the ticker of how many people are in Metro Atlanta, which
Ah,
consists of about 19 counties. And so I remember I used to always say, I would see that sign, I say, it's over 6 million people here. There's enough for everybody, right? So
right.
now, of course, Metro Atlanta is the place that everybody moves to. So now we're at 7 million and change. But I used to always see that sign. So my thought process was always, there's enough for us all out here.
Yes, that I tell you what, that is a blessing to think like that, and I think that has served you well, obviously, as your business has continued to grow. And speaking of that, if you could go back and talk to yourself, you're 10 years 10 years younger, and you could advise, what type of things what type of strategies would you give, or at least what would be the number one thing you would tell someone who's starting out in this business today?
So I have like two number ones, right?
Okay.
And I know that sounds impossible, but they really are both just as high priority. My number one thing is be able to pivot,
Mm,
understand, and not become emotionally attached, because who I am and what I do and my why behind what I do. I used to be very emotionally attached to whether or not that transaction went through, because I knew on the other side of that, somebody would not have their home. And so I was so emotionally attached and it became draining, right? I had to step away. I could still be passionate, caring and concerned, but not become so emotionally attached to it that it drained me.
mm,
Right. So that's what I would tell my younger self in the business, right? To just make sure you set some boundaries, emotional boundaries around these transactions, because for me, I never saw them as just a transaction. All of my clients are in contact with me still to this day, because I make an intention to forge that type of relationship and make it a lifelong process. So that's the number one thing, is to not become so emotionally attached to it. And the second thing is, like I said, just being able to pivot, and understand that things can change on a dime, and you got to be able to adjust and keep going regardless of whatever it is, and staying really focused about it.
oh, that is awesome. But you touched on something I want to poke at a little bit, is you still have relationships with your customers, right? And
Yeah.
how do you do? Because I find that with many real estate agents, they don't. They think about that transaction. Once that deal is closed, we dance with our keys. I never see them again, right?
And that happens, unfortunately. It happened to me before, when I purchased my first home. My agent, I wasn't a realtor at the time. My agent, I haven't heard from my agent since we closed either, right? And I also didn't know a lot about the process as I was going through it. And so that was one of the drivers for me when I became an agent, was to make sure that I focus on educating my clients throughout the process, and then fortifying those relationships so that we're not just client and agent. This is an extended family type situation, and that we go the journey, we go the distance. And so I take pride in making sure that I am contacting my agents, contacting my clients throughout the year. I'm not trying to contact them to say, hey, I'm selling houses. Do you know somebody? Can I, it's just to let you know that I am here. I am still here in your life. I am present. And if there is anything you need in terms of real estate, I am here to help you, your family, and friends. But other than that, you want to just tell me how Chase did at the soccer game, I'm all ears. Like, I am here. I'm a part of your life. You know, they get cards from me, they get gifts from me. We go out to lunches and dinners because it's an extended part of my livelihood.
Oh my God, that I'll tell you what, that's music to my ears, because that's part of what I always talk about as well is the key to this business is referrals, right?
It
And
is 1000%.
yeah, and if you don't, the best source of referrals is people you've helped in the past. And
Absolutely.
yeah, I think a lot of times people, ask for a referral immediately after the sale, right? So right at the closing table, do you know anybody else? Usually they're like, no, right? But maybe you can tell me how these relationships have turned into growing your business.
They so I'll this last year, I'm saying this year, forgetting we're not in
Yeah.
2021 anymore.
Yeah.
But last year was my first year I probably paid for marketing because all of my business has been referral business. Literally up until 2021, 100% of my business was referral business. What I realized is that in order for me to expand and grow even further and even outside of other markets, I may need to, do a little bit more. But I didn't solely rely on referrals as if, well, I know I was good to them. I'm sure they're going to send me someone. No, but that's just the way it came. It just always came that way. And so I would never do it like at the closing table because you don't want to sour that moment. That's about that client. That's not
Right.
about you trying to get more business, right? It's about that client enjoying the fact that they just became a homeowner or they just sold their house. It's not about you, right? So what I always do is I focus on after, that transaction has happened, I touch base with them. We check in. I remind them of key upcoming dates that they need to be aware of around homestead exemptions in the beginning of the year, things of that nature. I send out, like I said, gift cards and birthday notices, and just really just being very authentic in the relationship. And that's the other thing that I would tell my younger self is to be very organic in what you're doing. Because when you enter real estate, they're going to hand you a book of scripts and everything else. And those things may not work for you. They don't work. Cold calling does not work for me. It's
Mhm.
not authentic to who I am. I am a relationship person. So picking up the phone and saying, hey, I think you want to sell your house because homes in this market is selling for 500,000. I would hang up on me. And it makes me feel like a telemarketer. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, yeah,
Right. So you have to be authentic and people can pick up on that. And when they know
yeah.
that you're authentic in the relationship, they know you're not just in it just to get something. Getting something out of it is going to be automatic. Just be genuine and in serving them. Just serve them. The two things you want to do is add value and solve problems. Do those two things.
Man, I tell you what, you are nailing it. That you are,
Thank
your
you.
experience. I get it, right? Why you've been so successful in this industry, because yeah, you're all the stuff, is there. And it's not, what's interesting, I think, about your story is it's not what's normally preached, right? What you read, it's like these are things you've experienced and had success with. So I love that. Good
Yeah.
stuff. Good stuff. Now you say you're expanding your market. Are you going to other states or just other areas of the state?
So the goal is, yes, I will be serving clients in Michigan coming up
Oh,
soon.
wow, nice.
'Cause, yeah, a builder reached out to me again because I focus on serving people,
Yes.
and a builder reached out to me and they saw some of the TikTok videos, like the power of social media. And so I'm not a huge TikTok person, but they saw my clients opening up their client appreciation boxes from me. And apparently they went through all of my social media page and they said, we could tell you're really about serving people. And instead of trying to replicate an agent like you for Michigan, we would just want you to come and help us sell here. So we are going to be expanding. Atlanta Luxe Group is going to be expanding into Michigan this year as well.
Oh, congratulations. That is awesome. That is
Thank
awesome.
you. Thank you.
Cool. Well, good stuff. Well, I usually have about 20 minutes on these podcasts.
Mhm.
But I want to give you an opportunity if there's something you would like the audience to know how to contact you, any type of particular area you serve or type of client
Sure.
you're looking for, that would be great.
Sure. So currently, I'm licensed in the state of Georgia, particularly serving Metro Atlanta and also the Savannah area, because that's where I'm born and raised. And so you can always contact me on my social media pages, Atlanta Luxe Group, and that's LUXE. So Atlanta Luxe Group on Instagram as well as on Facebook. You can contact me there. The website is atlantaluxegroup.com as well. I am very responsive. So if you reach out to me, I will respond back. One of the things I want to leave the audience with is understanding the importance of attaining wealth through real estate. And in order to get to that step, it starts with having good credit. And I
Mm,
understand that some experts will say, well, you should be able to just don't use credit, pay cash. That's not the world we live in today, right? Because cash is not truly king. At the end of the table, when the seller gets their money, they get it in cash, regardless if you did a loan or if you did cash. It doesn't matter to them, right? So credit is what is really king. And so you need to have good credit in this market. And so I also help my clients, navigate that path of getting their credit on track as well.
that is awesome. Well, Kendra, thank you so much for spending some time with me this afternoon. This has been great. I appreciate you. And I'm sure the other agents who watch this podcast would pick up some things, and particularly the new folks who, to your point, need a little help, and maybe they'll reach out to you as well. So this is so cool.
Sounds good. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you. Bye.
Okay.